Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Dragonball Evolve 4th Form Frieza. This is the newest release from the Dragonball Evolve line. This is another one of Bandai's products that they like to put out, and I absolutely love them. This is kind of their 4 or 5 inch line, however you want to look at it. It's like basically 1/18th, I guess you would call it, as far as scale. But I love these things. Real quick, let's just look at what's left of his package, because they're just a little on-card kind of package right here. And it's actually not too bad. You know, when you tear it off, you tear all the cardboard off, but it had a nice image of Frieza right there. And on the back, another image of the actual figure. And then it says some warnings in different languages that I don't speak. But let's get our hands on Frieza real quick and see how tall he is, because I love these things. If you've watched any of my videos, I have them all, and I eventually will do a review on each and every one of them. To the top of his little head, he is almost 4.5 inches, not quite, which would make the figure right at 11 centimeters. That is a little figure. Let's stand him next to some other ones real quick. Here he is with a Dragonball Evolve Goku, and their scale doesn't really work. Frieza's a little tall as far as, you know, in comparison to Goku, but I guess it would work. You know, like I said, these are $10, $12 figures. They are meant for kids, and they work just fine, and I really like them. Here he is with a Dragonball Evolve Vegeta, and again, he's a little too tall, but that works for me. Here he is with the other Frieza figure from Dragon Ball Evolve, the Golden Frieza, and they're the same height if you can get them both to stand up or whatever, but these are actually not the exact same body. They're a little bit different in places, and we'll go over that more here in just a minute, but they both look pretty good. Now, here's a line that he does scale pretty perfectly with, and that is the SH Figuarts version. Here he is with a Goku, and that's about right there. Maybe Frieza's even a little bit too tall there, because there's you know, it's Dragon Ball and there's scalings all over the place, but there have been ones where his head's down here more around Goku's waistline. That doesn't really matter. That works pretty good right there. And here he is with the SH Figuarts 4th Form Frieza, and he's just a skosh shorter, and I like it. I think those look pretty good. I mean, look at that, just aesthetics-wise, side by side. This one holds its own for $12. If you didn't want to pay the money for this, you could pay $12 for this right here, and it would be a perfectly fine and acceptable like stand-in. It really would. That's kind of crazy to say, but you know, I'm interested in the newest version of this that's coming out later this year. Tell me down in the comments if I should do a video on that new 4th Form Frieza that SH Figuarts is putting out. Anyways, let's focus more on him now. For his aesthetic, this guy looks pretty darn good. I like it. He's got a nice matte finish all over him throughout all the white. I mean, he's a simple character design and paint. And the purple has like that kind of metallic purple to it in all the purple spots. And that looks pretty good itself. I like his musculature looks good. All the paint is done well. There's like one little kind of crappy spot of purple right there on his head, and that is it. Everywhere else looks really, really nice, even on the forearms, like I pointed out, and on the shins, the little one for his belly and his shoulders. I mean, this guy looks good. If he had just a little bit of a wash or some shading, I mean, you would think he's an SH Figuarts, as crazy as that is. I just think he looks really, really good. The fists, yeah, they're a little generic looking. They're not like super duper like detailed sculpt wise or whatever, but they still look good enough. And I like his chest and his arms and his abdomen right there. That looks nice. And the cuts in his legs, he looks pretty darn good. Maybe if the toenails were painted, but if you're somebody who wanted to pay $12 for this and then paint the toenails yourself, hey, I mean, you'd have a really darn good looking figure, and you'd be out $12 plus the few pennies that you'd have to pay for, you know, if you had some paint already. His tail looks good. It has a nice shape and it articulates, but we'll go over that more here in a minute. It's a nice looking tail. I mean, look, let's compare it to the SH Figuarts one. Look at that. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart. This one, of course, has got some shading on it, but that's what I'm saying. If you were somebody that put just a little bit of shading on this, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference between them if you just had it on its shelf. Now, articulation-wise, that's where, you know, the SH Figuarts one is really going to blow it out of the water, but that's because this one doesn't really have a neck joint, so it just kind of moves around. All the Dragon Ball Evolve figures are all on just a ball peg. That's just what they do in the neck and in the head right there like that. I don't really like how they've got this at kind of an angle, the way they've cut the neck like that. I don't really know what that point was, because that kind of leaves him permanently looking down, and he's already short enough. He kind of needs to look at people. And that's really about as straight out as you can get his head to look. So that, I don't know why they did that. That kind of sucks. And you can't even really get full rotation out of his head, because when you start to rotate it too much, that part right there will pry his head off. So, I mean, that's not that awesome. But again, $12 figure, I'm not going to freak out. His shoulders will go above 90 degrees. Look at that's awesome for a freaking $12 figure. And the full 360. Now, he doesn't have a butterfly, but what he does have, I'll go ahead and pop his arm off, is a double ball peg in the shoulder that moves around. So the shoulders can come forward and back on that. So I like that a lot. And it's just a little socket there that the shoulders go into it, but they can go down and up, and they can come forward a little bit enough that the arm will come across the body, and you can shift them back. So that's actually pretty impressive. I like that, and it moves around very nicely there in that little socket. No bicep swivel. It's got a single jointed elbow, so you're going to get 90 degrees out of it. Not the best ever. That elbow joint really doesn't look bad for what it is. And of course, the wrist is like a hinge, so you can get rotation just from where it plugs into the arm, and then its rotation. It hinges at the palm there. That's where the hinge is, so you can get plenty of rotation there. I think it may be a double ball peg here in the abdomen. Yes, it is, and it will lean back really good. He'll crunch, and you can twist and all that good stuff. So that's not too bad right there. There's another ball peg down here in the waist that he can swivel around on and twist and stuff. So that's a pretty nice little setup here. Now the legs. His little legs aren't going to do a full split for you, but that's a pretty good split right there. And there's no nuggets or anything. That's not bad. You're going to get not the best front kick ever, but it's there. It's almost up to the waist, so I'm not going to trip out. And the legs aren't really going to kick back much for you. No big deal. Got a thigh swivel. Got a single jointed knee. Again, right at 90 degrees. Not the best looking knee ever, but it's a $12 toy for kids, so I'm not going to freak out. Now the ankles down here. It kind of wants to have kind of a ball hinge, but you're not going to get much out of the feet, not very much up or down, and not much rocker. They really just kind of wiggle around, and no peg hole in the bottom of the foot. But for a $12 figure, and he looks really good, I'll almost overlook the articulation to an extent. Oh, and of course his tail plugs in, and it will swivel there, and it has an articulated piece there in the middle that will move around some more. So overall, I mean, this is no accessories. They don't come with accessories, so that is a bit of a drawback, but for $12, it's not that big a deal. I really like these figures. I think that they're really, really cool, and I think that they're fun for what they are. I mean, they're not every collector's cup of tea. I mean, I've had, every time I've done a video on one of these, I've got somebody pointing out they're just toys, or, you know, they kind of suck. And to an extent, you know, I mean, compared to an SH Figure Arts, as far as overall, like, figure performance, you know, I mean, yeah, if you compare it to that, yeah, they do kind of suck in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, they're awesome all at the same time. They look pretty good for them. You know, usually some of them, their face plates might not be, or their head sculpts, excuse me, the faces on their head sculpts aren't that awesome, but this looks really, really good. I like that Frieza face for sure, and this just overall looks really nice. This is definitely probably top 2 of the Evolve line. This is a really darn good one, and I highly recommend it. For a Dragonball Evolve, I'm giving this an A. This is a very, very good one. I definitely recommend it. I believe this is going to be in Walmart. I got this off of Big Bad Toy Store, but I think these are going to be on shelves in Walmart. And if you're into this kind of thing, pick it up. I highly recommend it. But that's really all I've got for Frieza here. You know, leave a comment down in the comment section, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.